Good evening. My name is James Meninga, and joined with me is Tej Menon as we are in Ann Arbor at the Crisler Center for the wrestling duel between the Michigan Wolverines and Nebraska Cornhuskers. Tej, tell me all about it.
What's up, guys? Excited for this duel. We're seeing a number 18 Michigan versus a Big Ten opponent, number 7 Nebraska. Should be an exciting one as we kick off this duel season. Both these teams with some ups and downs through the tournament season, figuring out red shirts. Michigan, a pretty young team, who has a lot of young studs on the team, and a lot of guys are taking off their red shirt and deciding to fully commit to this season. We'll see one of them, Dylan Gilcher at 149 tonight, as well as Bo Mantonona, who had some injury troubles early on in the season, but should be interesting.
Absolutely. As the lights go out here in the Crisler Center, and the inspirational video takes over on the Jumbotron.
Yep, we've got the workouts, all the muscle from these wrestling dudes. They like to show it off.
Absolutely. So our the first weight class today, I believe, is 133. That's going to be Jacob Van Deen of Nebraska wrestling against Nolan Wertinen for the Wolverines. Tej, tell me a little about each of these guys.
Yeah, correct. Jacob Van Dee, he's sophomore out of Union City, Pennsylvania. Took fourth at Big Tens last year and was NCAA qualifier going 1-2. Had a solid true freshman season going 23-10 overall. And again, is having a good season so far. Just had a huge win, James, if you want to tell me a little bit more about it, against number 5, Braden Davis of Penn State.
Yeah, absolutely. Big win up in Penn State.
Yep, and as we all know, Penn State's kind of the dominating power, so getting the win against one of those is always hard to do. Braden Davis, in his true sophomore year, just like Van Dee, had a really good year last year. Failed to All-American, but was a favorite in that 125-pound weight class. And then on the Michigan side of things, we got Nolan Wertinen, a bit of an unexpected one. As we look like we're about to do introductions, Michigan starts to enter the Crisler Center.
Yeah, the Michigan Wolverines are making their way out to the mat. And the Victors is playing throughout the Crisler Center right now.
Correct, and we look to have a pretty good crowd for this wrestling meet. A lot of younger fans, maybe from their club and high school wrestling teams, making their way out.
Yeah, it's certainly not as packed as it gets for the men's and women's basketball games, but there's quite the crowd here as they rise for the national anthem. Will bring us to the start of the meet, or the duel.
Yeah, James, I think there's a special commemoration tonight.
Yes, it is Military Appreciation Night here in the Crisler Center. Some Michigan Wrestling camo koozies were being given out to fans. Another great promotion to fill this Crisler the Crisler Center for this event.
Correct, and it looks like the teams meet in the middle, shake hands as usually goes. As I can see, Jacob Van D getting ready to take the mat. Michigan will do. Michigan's Nolan Wertinen will do his normal walkout.
Yeah, so Jacob Van D, a little bit more about him. He's 5-2 in duels this year, 8-5 overall, but he's coming off a big 3-win streak. Like we said, number 5, Braden Davis, but he also took down number 11, Tyler Wells of Minnesota.
Yep, and he was ranked number 16 last week. We'll see what he comes in at this week. As we know, the Intermat and Flow Wrestling rankings sometimes do not align, but I believe he'll jump up with that Braden Davis win as the captains meet in the middle. I believe that's Caleb Smith, Ridge Lovett for Nebraska Cornhuskers, and then the transfer, number 2 in the country, Jacob Cardenas for the Michigan Wolverines. And Nolan Wertinen looks to make his classic walkout. They've got the hype tape up stop as Van D takes the center.
So usually wrestling for Michigan at the 133 is Dylan Ragusin, but he was recently injured, tore his ACL. So he's been replaced here today by Nolan Wertinen, who's usually a 125 guy. So a little bit kind of in a new element for him. We'll see how he does.
Correct. As they whistle the match, Van D comes in on a low double. Wertinen picks him back up. Van D with a left side underhook here. Working center. Kind of stuck in this tie here. We'll see if they call it stale. Yep, and Wertinen jumped up from that 125 as expected. Jacob Van D with a nice duck. Has a wrist control and underhook duck and gets his 3 now. Sorry, as they change it to 3-point takedown. As he has a ride here, is hooked the ankle, and I believe looking for a cross wrist tilt here. Wertinen, still on his base, but with that ankle ride, it's going to be tough to get up here. As Van D looks to get him flat on the mat.
Absolutely. Wertinen is the underdog here, as Van D has been a pretty good season so far, coming in as the favorite in this 133 matchup.
Correct. Wertinen, one of 2 non-ranked wrestlers for the Michigan team. All of 10 of Nebraska's wrestlers ranked, and 8 of Michigan wrestlers ranked, but Wertinen not one of them. Again, as we said, expected to be the 125-pounder, but bumped up due to Ragusin's unfortunate circumstances. As Van D continues to work this ride, gotten flattened out a bit here. He's off the ankle now, but has him completely bellied out. Looks like he has an arm bar in. Maybe looking to push it through, as has it pretty deep. We'll see as riding time builds up at 1:13 and he sucks him back, and he's wow, no swipes here. And 1, 2 swipes, 3 swipes. Wow, Wertinen looks pretty flat right now. He's locked in a 3 count. I believe it should be more than that, James. But he looks pretty tight as he bellies out. And let's see what the ref gives him. Yeah, he'll give him a 4 count. So 5 swipes there. It was pretty deep on that bar. He sucked him back as Wertinen tried to hip up.
Absolutely. Nebraska's going to jump up to 7 for this match.
Wertinen called for stalling. As you can see, the ref put up his fist. So when the ref put up his fist, Wertinen issued his first stalling call. We'll see if he can work on bottom as 30 seconds approach with already 2 minutes of riding time in this match. And it looks like Van D's going to commit to the ride for the rest of the period. Not the ideal start for Wertinen. Van D with a very slick, had that left side underhook, was working it for a while, and then got to a far side duck there. So he's working wrist, just doing a good job of keeping him pretty bellied out. Wertinen trying to work up to his base, but just continuously getting flattened out as Vandy is looking to bar that arm up again, kind of prying his head against the elbow as they call the first period. And we'll see who gets the option here. It's Wharton with the first option. He elects to defer. Vandy will go bottom. No shock there with already 2 minutes and 35 seconds of riding time.
Right, and not totally unexpected like we talked about. Nebraska's been very good at the 125, 133 weight class, whereas Michigan's been a little bit weaker.
Yeah, been starting this duel off at 133 is good for Nebraska as Vandy gets out pretty much immediately and goes right back into his ties. Looks for a far side pick, but misses it as Wharton slides by. Gets back to that underhook, very similar position we saw him in earlier as he pushes Wharton in towards the edge of the mat. Working to see if he can get a wrist. And again, that far side duck takes it down to a single and knee picks him away. Wow, that's his bread and butter, it looks like. I mean, he looks unstoppable from that position, James.
Yeah, absolutely. As Nebraska goes up 11-0 in this match.
Yep, and he's working for a tech here with a minute 20 left in the match. As we know, this is a match that Nebraska's looking for bonus points here. So tech or pin would be huge as he's already working in major direction. So he's got looks like a little bit of a wrist pry. Nothing, again, looking maybe to put a boot in. Similar ride to last time. Got that left ankle of Wharton in. And again, Wharton gets called for stalling. I believe that will be a point for Vandy as he makes it 12-0. 45 seconds remaining in the second period. He's continuing again, just working on that ankle and that near wrist. As it looks like he has a tilt cross wrist here. Maybe looking to take it the opposite side. Wharton just cannot get up to his base. Vandy continuously breaking him down, relentless on top. And Wharton looks to be struggling. I'd be surprised they don't hit him with another stall call here as 20 seconds remain.
No stall call yet.
Yep, so he's at 2. The next one will be another point. We'll see. As the period looks like they're going to wind down in this position. Vandy on top. We'll see what Wharton elects to take in this third period as he has choice.
Now this, as the conclusion of the second period, Nebraska holds, Vandy holds that 4-minute, 2-second advantage.
Yep, that's that 4 minutes of riding time. And Wharton elect for bottom. Vandy chose to cut him, making it 12-1. And again, just right to his ties. Really pushing Wharton and working the center and really pushing the pace here. Jacob Vandy, a true sophomore. We'll see. I mean, he looks as a bright future. Obviously, an NCAA qualifier last year, did fourth at Big Tens. As he looks at a low double, picks him up, comes out the back door at a waterfall position. Wharton looking to get a leg as Vandy brings one leg down. Wharton just hugging the body here. Has a body whizzer in. And Vandy looking to hook the legs. And if he can pop his head out, his head in between, should be toots. He's working to pop his head out as he gets it. And that will make it 15-1. Point away from the tech fall. And we'll see what he likes to do. They're on the edge of the mat here with Wharton with a bit of a weak Turk in here. See if he can work that a bit. Sorry, Vandy with a weak Turk as Vandy, yeah, looking to whip him over, but they're on the edge. Not a lot of room to work on that side as they call him up. And they will go back to the center.
Right now with 58 seconds here in the third round, and Vandy with a commanding 51 lead. We'll have Brock Hardy up next for Nebraska.
Yep, 15-2 lead as he elects to cut him and continue to put the pace. James, can you tell me a bit about the next matchup?
Yeah, that's going to be at the 141 weight class. It's going to be...
wow, another duck from Jacob Vandy and just ends it like that. 3 takedowns, 3 ducks. That time with just a wrist control, and I mean, he looks effortless on that left side duck as he gets the 18-2 tech fall against Nolan Wharton. Ref raises his hand. But yeah, as you were saying, James, we've got Brock Hardy and Sergio Lemley. Should be an interesting one.
Yeah, coming up, Sergio Lemley, the true sophomore out of Illinois, 4-time state champion at Mount Carmel High School. He qualified last year in NCAA's. And this is another one where not as much favored as the 133 weight class, but Nebraska should have the advantage here.
Yeah, it'll be a close one as Brock Hardy's wrestling at number 6 in the country, and Sergio Lemley looking at number 9.
Yeah, so it should be a more competitive matchup than the 133 between Jacob Van D and Nolan Order that we just saw. And here they come out for the 141 matchup.
Yep, Sergio takes the center of the mat. They're both bouncing around in the center. He's currently the 9th ranked wrestler at 141. Brock Hardy, as we said, the number 6 wrestler, as both of them start to take ties. Both working on the head. Just feel out right here. These two wrestled last year at Big Tens with Sergio taking the match, but Brock Hardy took 3rd last year at NCAAs, so should be an interesting matchup. And he's currently in his junior season, a U23 Freestyle World Bronze medalist this summer. So got to work as Sergio Lemley works his head and gets on a high crotch. They're on the mat. Bit of a sit-out position here for Brock Hardy as he looks to grab an ankle, but Sergio doing a good job scooting his hips around. Wow, Brock looking to pull him through as a crotch lift in, but Sergio doing a good job cranking that left arm. And he's doing a good job trying to get to the other side. Now they're in a bit of a... Brock Hardy's on his feet with the crotch lift. Sergio comes up the back door. Weird position here. And this is a tough one. Brock Hardy comes out the opposite way. Both knees are going in crazy directions. Sergio the only one with the leg here. And Brock just draped over the top currently. Sergio underneath his 2 legs. The crowd's looking for something, looking for 2. Sergio grabs both legs from the front, kind of like a front low double here. Interesting position. I think he's looking to get his head on the outside. He's got his head currently underneath the left knee of Brock Hardy. Again, in that sit-out, that high crotch position. And he goes down to the left leg. Waterfall position here. Brock Hardy draped over the top. Sergio looking to isolate a leg here as Brock looks to kick out. And Brock does a good job, but Sergio gathers his back. What a start to this match. And he's got him on his back. What a start. Oh, he's got him on his back. And they give him nothing for that exchange. He had him in danger position, but Brock Hardy comes out and he's got a reverse lift on the, he's back on his back. I really don't know what's happening right now. And Brock Hardy ain't on the double and now gets the 3. Wow, what an exchange. Crazy exchange to start off this match. As Brock's on the legs, ref getting him a count, and he works up and gathers his 3, puts a right boot in. I mean, that was an insane exchange from the 2 there, as Sergio grabs a boot of Brock Hardy, takes him back to his back, and gets his escape, looking for his front head, relentless right into it as a right side underhook, and gets out. And now they're working in a hand fight. That was a crazy exchange. Sergio with a great shot in, had that high crotch as Sergio pushes Brock Hardy out onto the edge of the mat, really working his pace. Michigan coach is looking for a stall call of some sort as Sergio's in the front head position and looks for the 2, and Brock smartly evades outside as Sean Bourmet is begging for a stall call there. But crazy exchange. Could not have asked for more. This is one of the most exciting matchups we have here. So I'm based on this first exchange, it's going to be exciting as the first period winds down.
Yeah, absolutely. Out of that first period is a 3-1 Nebraska lead for Brock Hardy. Yeah, Sergio got him down. Kind of had him in like you said, Tage, in the danger zone, or in danger position, but no points are awarded. Only got the 1, so still 3-1 Nebraska with Nebraska 23-second advantage time as the second period begins.
Correct, and Brock Hardy elects for bottom. Sergio, let's see if he decides to ride here as Brock gets to his feet. Sergio kind of draped behind the back, looks for a cutback position. Brock back to his feet. Sergio looking to get a grip. He might have to let him go, and he gets a return. He's really working on that front trip position as Brock Hardy's been on his feet for about 13 seconds here, and then he finally gets his escape. That'll make it a 4-1 match to the Cornhusker. Yeah, I'm sure we're going to see that exchange a lot on the Instagram Reels later today, James.
Right, absolutely. Much more competitive here in the 141 than the 133 was.
Correct. Both of these wrestlers working their ties. Brock looking for a left side underhook, which Sergio shucks it away as they go back to space. As James said, Sergio out of Illinois, a Chesterton, Indiana native, but went to high school in Mount Carmel, Illinois. Three-time Illinois state champion and a one-time Indiana state champ. And Brock Hardy gets a nice takedown, shucks out the left high collar, and grabs a leg. An easy finish, but cuts him right away as Sergio gets back to his feet. So 7-2 as 23 seconds remaining in this period. Hardy looks to be rung up a little bit as he steps back, and the ref calls it. Might have been a little head bump. We'll see as they go back to center. Ref starts the matchup again. Hardy looks for a little sweep to the left side. Nothing there. Back up to their feet.
Yeah. And like you said, Tej, both these guys, no stranger to winning. As a conclusion of the period, sees Hardy have the 7-2 advantage, 4-second time advantage to Michigan, but the points are in Hardy's favor. But yeah, these guys, neither of them strangers to winning. Like you said, Sergio's 4 state champions, and placed 4th at Big Tens last year. As a third and final period starts for these two.
Yep, Sergio electing to take the bottom position, see if he can get escape. Brock Hardy looking to ride him tough as Sergio gets his feet and gets his 1-point escape, making a 7-3 match. He's gonna need more than a takedown here to get this match under his belt. Continuing the hand fight. We'll see if Sergio's game last year was all about the pace, and we'll see if he can bring it on this third period. You know, with his marquee matchups. That's a nice pick from Brock Hardy. Sergio looks to scramble out and just a quick finish again. And Brock Hardy looks to cut him immediately, making it 10-3. And Sergio back on his offense. A really nice takedown. Again, just a slick pick. Caught Sergio off guard, and Sergio tried to funky roll out of it, but not able to get much. And quick takedown. Brock looking for, again, that left side single. Looking to take one arm to it. As Brock looking to move his feet a little bit. Work from space. Working his snaps, tough snaps here. 50 seconds remaining as Sergio Lemley trails 6 points to Brock Hardy. And we'll see what he elects to do. Brock takes a quick peek at the clock, as usually happens as these time run out. Sergio looking to get some attacks. He's going to have to go here if he wants a chance at this match. Brock only a takedown away from a major decision here, which would be huge for the dual team score. Sergio working on a front head position. Has the head and the arm. Looks one side, goes the other way, gets on a leg in a very similar position to how he started this match. Brock electing to sit out immediately, and Sergio trying to get around that left hip. Did the same thing last match. Ended with him getting taken down. We'll see. He is in a weird position here. Kind of folded on top of himself as Brock gets the takedown, 3-point takedown, and wow, this is huge. 13-4, and that's how the match will end. Bit of an unexpected result there. Really weird because it felt like Sergio was kind of pushing the pace, but Brock just hit with slick takedowns, unable to get those quick finishes where Sergio was not, as they raise Brock Hardy's hand. James, what can you tell us about the next matchup as the dual team score looks to be 9-0? Cornhuskers.
Right, absolutely. Nebraska kind of starting as best as they could, winning both those first 2 matches. Next coming up is at the 149 weight class is Dylan Gilker of Michigan wrestling against Ridge Lovett of Nebraska. Ridge Lovett, the senior, 4-time NCAA qualifier and a 2-time All-American. He was undefeated in high school, never losing, 169-0. He's 11-1 this season. And he's going against the redshirt freshman Dylan Gilker, who's 8-4 this season, but he's a 4-time Michigan State champion. So like, can we say that? What we can say about all these guys is that historically they very much winners.
Yeah, you enter the Big Ten. Usually you're going to be a good high school wrestler, and you know, for some of these guys it's a shock. These levels to these games. As we mentioned, I mean, Ridge Lovett, a senior world level wrestler, sorry, U23 world level wrestler, representing the great state of Idaho. And Michigan continues their military appreciation night ceremonies, playing a nice video with some of the wrestlers, Nathan Giroir, Chase Saldate, Connor Owens, all part of the video, thanking all military members.
Right, absolutely. As we wait for this 149 match to start, the fans are. I think we talked about fans here, kind of obviously not as big as a basketball game, but a lot of fans out here, and I think a lot of that is due to the promotion that the wrestling team commits itself to, trying to make. Because Tage, as a former wrestler yourself, you can tell us for sure. Does the crowd noise have anything to does it bolster your performance at all?
For sure. As a home wrestler, we all know that it's nice to hear those roars in the crowd. They're always locked in on the mat, but it's nice to hear those roars as you get those 3-point takedowns now. But yeah, we'll see. I think it's a big thing for Coach Barnett. They've taken 3rd and 2nd at the last 2 NCAAs. And as far as recruiting classes go, I think a big thing is, the Penn States, the Oklahoma States, Iowa, they all have very big cultures of wrestling in their state. These stadiums are packed out, and I really think Michigan's looking to do the same as we start the introductions.
Yeah, for here, Dylan Gilker is being introduced on the screen, getting the crowd into it, getting everybody hyped up for this Michigan down 9-0, looking to take some points here in match number 3 at 149.
Correct. And it'll be a tough ask for Gilcher. Lovett having a good season this year. Obviously, 3 years ago took 2nd at NCAAs to Yanni Diakomahalis, and then took his red shirt. Took 6th or 4th, I believe, last year. Sorry, 6th. And Gilcher was a redshirt freshman last year, 4-time Michigan State champ out of the coveted Detroit Central Catholic program. So let's see what he can do as he gets his left side underhook, looking to work it early. Ridge Lovett with a Greco background, so upper body, not something he's scared to do. He's an age level world medalist. As Gilcher looks to work that left side underhook. Kind of has a collar tie on the right side and a left side underhook, but pretty shallow. As Lovett works his 2-on-1, Gilcher elects to take the front head position. Lovett still working that left arm of Gilcher. As both wrestlers in the center. Gilcher looking to get heavy on his head as Lovett continues on that 2-on-1. And they finally get out of the position.
Yeah, very neutral so far. No advantage yet either way. Score remains 0-0 with 2 minutes left in the first period.
Correct. And as James was saying, 9-0 lead for the Cornhuskers. Let's see if Michigan can get one back. Definitely not a favored match, but Gilcher ranked this season as Lovett gets in on a front head, has that left ankle, but Gilcher widely takes it away as they come up with Ridge Level with 2 double underhooks and looks to whip him over and gets the easy 3. Just a double under whip over, and now he's working kind of a cross-body ride. Has that left boot in and working on that right arm, I believe. Very similar ride to we were seeing out of Jacob Van D. I'm wondering if that's something Mike Manning's showing in the room. As he gets that tilt, and he tilts him up. No swipes yet. Yep, and he's got him in that tilt. Looks to be pretty tight as he's gets a 3 count. I'm mistaken, a 4 count, making it a 7-0 match.
Yeah, this one is all Lovett so far with 55 seconds left in the first period.
Yep, and he looks to be committing on top. 50 seconds left, as James said. Really committing to this ride. He's got that deep boot in. Gilcher trying to base up, but not able to do so. Usually on this bottom position, with the boot in, you're trying to isolate that booted leg and get it out of there. Usually working your knees to get that ankle out of there, but Lovett doing a really good job on top. Again, that cross body ride, he's looking to lock up a cradle maybe. Again, opposite ride of that of the boot. We'll see what he elects to do.
Yeah, with 15 seconds here in the first period, looks like it is going to be all Lovett. Not terribly unexpected, as Michigan does have 8 wrestlers ranked nationally. Gilcher, one of the 2, being one of the 2 that is not. That will bring the first period to a close with a 7-0 Lovett advantage.
Gilcher with choice chooses to defer. Lovett elects to take bottom. Lovett taking his time to get into bottom position, shaking it out a little bit as Gilcher covers on the left side of Lovett.
Whistle blows, and they are at it.
And Lovett quickly out of Dylan's grasp. They go back to the tie-ups. Lovett with a nice little level change. Gets reaction of Gilcher.
Yeah, Lovett earned a quick point there, trying to get some bonus points for his team. Currently up by 8, looking to win by some more.
Gilcher with the left side underhook, but Lovett takes a nice fireman's, dumps it out, elects to just take his 3. Had him on his back for a second. Really nice overhook fireman's there from Lovett. Let's see what he elects to ride. Dylan working up to his base. Lovett got that cross ankle ride here as he has a bar on the left side, right ankle ride. Takes the ankle out and kind of just barring up, but on the opposite side of his bar, so I'm not, and he gets a half on the right side to see if he gets, and he's looking to step over. He's looking for a pin here, steps over the head of Gilcher, and this is going to be tough. He's got a bar, half, and a leg. This is going to be really tight as Gilcher's doing a good job staying off his back. But this is going to be a dogfight here for this 50 seconds. Lovett's got this in tight as he steps over in a bit of a weird position. He got rid of the half, but he still got the bar, and he's barring him up on top. But great job by Gilcher staying out of the grasp of Lovett's step through half.
Yeah, he's in a position where you can't really say he's doing well down 11-0 right now, but doing a good job of evading that pin and saving his team some points.
And, it's tough wrestling as he's a true sophomore. First year taking off his red shirt, wrestling a really tough Ridge Lovett as Lovett kind of on the side here. Working on this ankle. I'm surprised they're not calling a count here as he gets back to that ride that he had to much success in the first period as the second period winds down.
Yeah, really, good work there by Gilcher to not give up any more points. There were 50 seconds there where it looked like he might have been in trouble, but
for sure, James, it looked like it was going to be a dogfight for those 50 seconds, but got out.
Yeah, now Lovett's going to be looking for at least 5 more points now to get that tech fall as he leads 11-1.
Correct.
Third period.
Gilcher with a nice little slide by, gets into Merkel position. Stanley Merkel, can he get it through? Lovett gets his leg out. Gilcher behind, and wow, Lovett just does a great job getting out of there. Right off the whistle, just a nice little collar tie slide by, and Gilcher working right back to that fireman's. Gilcher in the front head position. Lovett got his left elbow control as he works up into an underhook. Gilcher now looking for his fireman's on the edge. Both wrestlers on the edge. We'll see what they elect to do. Lovett lets him up, keeping his butt to the center, really controlling center, and brings him back into the center. Let's see what he does. A little level change, some fakes here. Looks for a slide by and gets, wow. Lovett going right side slide by to a left side single, gets his takedown, and then cuts him immediately. 14-2. One more takedown will give him the technical fall. Yeah. And he ducks him on the right side. Wow, great takedown, and that will be the match there, James.
Yeah, you could tell that Gilcher was trying to escape there in that third period without giving up any more points. Lovett does get to him though, gets those takedowns and ends that match 17-2, and that'll give Nebraska 4 more team points to take a 13-0 lead as we come up to the 157 matchup versus Chase Saldat of Michigan, the graduate transfer from Michigan State. And opposite him will be Antrell Taylor, the sophomore. Both another two strong wrestlers. Michigan looking for their first win of the match. Like I said, down 13-0. As the announcers give the crowd some information about the upcoming wrestlers.
Yep, Antrell Taylor ranked number 5 right now, with Saldate, I believe, being number 12. the grad transfer from Gilroy, California, coached by the famous Danielle Cormier back in high school. Saldate, four-time NCAA qualifier, has not yet All-American. Knocked on the door last year in the round of 12. Looking to get it done. And Antrell Taylor, up-and-coming sophomore, who's really been doing a good job. Had a good summer on the age-level world teams and really is looking to do good as both wrestlers take the match. Whistle starts. Antrell Taylor, low single, gets right back into it, and wow. Headgear comes off, but he gets his three. Saldate out fast, though. I wonder if they'll call that no control, but really nice. He started wrestling on his knees and just shot right back into his left side low single. Finished pretty immediately by taking the back and returning him down. Saldate got out as they reset for Taylor's headgear.
A lot of these Nebraska guys coming off a loss in that Penn State duel, as we were talking about Penn State, the best teams in the country, hard to beat. Taylor coming off a loss to number 3 Tyler Kasak. So a lot of these guys might be wrestling with something to prove, trying to get back in the win column.
For sure, and a 31-7 dual score against Penn State at this point is something most teams will take. They've shut out, I believe, 5 opponents this year out of their 8 matches, so just craziness from there as they're back on their feet. Antrell Taylor looking for an underhook. Saldate looks for a right side single as Taylor down blocks very well. As they both have a collar tie and an over tie. See if Taylor can work for space as he got his first takedown from there. Nebraska native, sticking at home with the Cornhuskers. I think he's liking his decision so far, James.
Yeah, absolutely. Number 7 team in the country. These Nebraska Cornhuskers been doing a good job this season. Kind of do more of the same here in Ann Arbor tonight.
Correct. Didn't envision much of a better start for Nebraska. 14-0 lead through the first 3 matches. Saldate looks to control middle. Taylor, as he's in. Little level change fake, gets a good reaction out of Taylor. Both wrestlers in the center. Taylor on his knees, electing to get back up. And we'll see, both just feeling out, working from space. A minute left in this first period. Only 3 seconds of riding time for Taylor. Not a factor quite yet, as we are in the 4th match of this 10-match series.
And like we said, Nebraska posting a 14-0 lead through 3. 3-1 here right now in favor of Nebraska in the match between Saldate and Antrell Taylor.
Yep, Taylor gets a right side underhook. Looking for the double unders. Doesn't have it. Kind of has an elbow control on the right side as he tries to get a whip over in a seatbelt position here. And Antrell Taylor working hard on that underhook, really cranking it down, grabbing his own wrist and putting some real torque on Saldate's shoulder. As they're still in the seatbelt position, Saldate's leg inside of Taylor. Taylor still with that underhook, kind of that body lock and they get back to their feet. Great job by Saldate getting back to center and squaring up with them as the period ends 3-1 in favor of the Cornhusker.
That's right, Saldate. I was talking about Michigan has 8 wrestlers ranked nationally. Saldate is number 15 in the country for in his weight class. Yeah, in his weight class of 157.
Yep, he's been at 157, I believe, his whole NCAA career. Again, as James said, alluded to, a recent transfer, one of 3 big transfers on this Michigan team. The other 2 transfers at 197 and 285. Can you tell me what schools those 2 wrestlers came out of, James?
Yeah, Cardenas is a transfer from Cornell. And then we also have University of Oklahoma, John Heisdeman. So yeah, really big impacts for this Michigan Wolverine team, kind of helping them post at 18. And they're 18 ranked.
Taylor gets out real fast, elected for bottom. Both wrestlers take the center of the mat. Soldate with a nice level change met with another one from Taylor. Both getting reactions. Left side underhook again for Taylor. See if he can work with it. Soldate looks to get out of this. Kind of that left side again, classic left side underhook, and he gets the double unders. We'll see if he can work with this. Now he only has that right side, and Soldate finally gets out of that grasp. He seems to not want to mess around in those underhooks of Taylor. Maybe work a bit from space as they both kind of meet each other with a similar time shot. Nothing to it. Soldate brings him up on a left side underhook, kind of weak. Tries to throw it by. Nothing to it.
50 seconds here in the second period. With Nebraska still with the 4-1 advantage in this match.
Correct, as another nice level change. Gets a big reaction out of Taylor. Taylor liking to work from those knees. Puts his left knee down rightly, and that's how he got his first takedown. So we'll see if that position continues to be a factor. Soldate not much offense yet. Let's see if he can get to work as he gets a front head, gets an ankle. No finish there, was really close to it as he's on the front side, low double, has one ankle, and Taylor working the body whizzer, kind of grasping that far leg, whips him over. Soldate doing a good job staying based up, has that right leg and comes to double off, and this is going to be close to 2, James. Really close to 2. I'm surprised they haven't given it yet.
3 seconds left.
That's got to be 3, yes. And it's 3, James. Big takedown for Chase Soldate as the period ends. And Coach Bourmet is ecstatic, clapping his wrestler on. This is a big win for the senior if he can edge it out. 4-4 as he elects to get bottom.
Yeah, absolutely. Ties his match at 4-4. Gives a chance for the Wolverines to get their first points of the game. Crowd's getting into it as the third period starts here with Soldate on bottom.
Yep, and Taylor electing to let him up. So 5-4 Soldate. Riding time not a factor currently. And Taylor with a nice shot, but Soldate almost whips him over. Taylor back in her own leg, and Soldate gets his leg back out freely. As they both are in center, working on their ties. Taylor, a nice high crotch, looks for the body. And Soldate whips him over, but Taylor takes him right to his back. And Soldate looks stuck, and that is going to be a pin for the Cornhusker. Taylor points to the mat saying, "This is my mat." Stomps on the M, and I'm sure the fans do not like that.
No, not at all. We were just talking about how Soldate had a chance to win Michigan's first points, but instead 6 go the other way for the Cornhuskers with that pin.
And the Cornhusker bench very happy with that win. So Taylor got in on a nice high crotch, looking to finish far side. As he went for that, Soldate looked him roll him through, and as got caught on his back. Got to make something happen in such a close match, but unfortunately got caught to his back, and 20-0 lead for the Michigan Wolverines. As we see a potential switch at the 165-pound weight class, Bo Mantonono will be wrestling for the Wolverines. However, I believe Christopher Minto will be wrestling for the Cornhuskers, electing to wrestle him ahead of senior Bubba Wilson.
Yeah, so our first kind of switch from what we expected coming in here. Let's see if it's the Cornhuskers' benefit, like we were talking about. Not a much better start you could ask for, being up 20-0 after the first 4 matches. Coming in at number 5 here. We're excited to see if Bo can get Michigan on the board here. So there's more. The military continues to be honored here at the Crisler Arena, with somebody taking the mat to be honored.
Correct, and in all honesty, Christopher Minto, redshirt freshman, as they honor Josh Banks, hero of the duel. Take a moment for him. But yeah, Minto 13-1 on the season, having a really good year. Just beat Andrew Sparks of Minnesota in a 5-4 decision. And Bubba Wilson coming off a tough loss to number 1 ranked Mitchell Messerbrink. But Bubba Wilson, the 7th ranked wrestler, walking in this duel. So despite his 9-5 dual record, or 9-5 overall record, he's the higher ranked wrestler on this team. But electing for Minto, I wonder with the 20-point lead to start this duel off, if Nebraska's looking to put their young gun in, who's on a bit of a hot streak, with that Andrew Sparks win again in the Minnesota duel. And as James was discussing before, Minnesota, both of these teams have wrestled them recently. Nebraska being able to beat them, and Michigan not. Michigan with two not so great losses here early on in the season. Obviously, Minnesota, a highly ranked team, but they did have a loss to Maryland, another Big Ten opponent, in a close one. Lost on criteria. A very close duel, and kind of a key story throughout the year has been Michigan just not flipping the decisions. We talk about, in a match you're supposed to win, getting those bonus points, and they just don't seem to get the bonus points. And in close matches, it seems like they're going the other way, and in matches where they might not be favored, they're getting tacked or pinned. So let's hope to see as Bo Mantanona takes the center. Talk about an exciting wrestler. Both these guys, same age. Mantanona out of California. His younger brother Brock, a true freshman on the year. What a good season during the tournament season, as Minto has a left side underhook and a right side collar tie. Kind of working this up. Looks for that pick and gets back into the underhook. Mantanona on the edge of the mat, trying to get out of it as he finally evades the underhook. Gets back to a collar tie. But as I was saying, exciting wrestler. Mantanona, pretty long, lengthy 165-pounder, and really can make a lot of things happen in a scramble. A lot of funk. Him and his brother wrestled very similarly. Had a good redshirt year last year as he gets in on a leg. Pretty weak as Minto sprawls out and they're back to their feet. Mantanona looking for a duck on the edge with that elbow control to no avail. Minto working again, that left side underhook, right side collar tie as he's controlling center. Tries to struck him by. Working his front head. Coach Mike Manning asking for some stalling attention, but Mantanona doing a good job getting back into the mat.
There's 1:30 here left in the first period of this 165 weight class matchup. Just no points on the board yet, no advantage. Been very neutral both ways.
As both these gentlemen working their tie. And on a look again for that duck. Really nothing there. Can't really get past the head-hands defense of Minto yet. Menon with a right side over tie to Minto's left side collar tie. Minto continues to work center. Mantanona might want to try to get his hips back into the middle as they elect to call it back into the center. Coach Mike Manning looking to get Minto to start working on that collar tie. Really working the head of Mantanona.
Yeah, they call it back to the center. Still 0-0, no advantage either way.
Minto with a little shot attempt again. Met with some good hips by Mantanona.
Coming up to 30 seconds left here in the first period. I keep saying no action so far.
Correct. This period continues to wind down. These two still in the center, working their ties. Minto looking for some level changes. No real reaction out of Mantanona. Gets a right side underhook.
10 seconds left here in the first period. Still nothing either way.
As this match will end in an over-under position. Sorry, not match, period.
Yeah. Horn Blair, 0-0s on the board still. And honestly, kind of not great for Michigan just to say that this has kind of been their best match so far after one period being 0-0. Kind of the story of not really competing up with Nebraska, but they've shown to be equal here in this 165 matchup.
Mantanona looking for a funk roll on bottom. A weird position here as Minto gets back And Mantonona grabs a leg, another roll. Kind of has, trying to elevate the leg. High man wins here as he's looking to look back into Minto. Nothing yet in a scramble position. This is where Mantonona wants to be. Kind of both wrestlers just on that far ankle of each other. Mantonona taking, looking on top, and they call a stalemate pretty early there. Mantonona kind of shakes his head at that as they crawl back to the center, looking for the restart.
Yeah, still nothing here as fans get into it a little bit. Michigan still trying to get their first points of the match, or of the duel.
Correct, and both wrestlers looking for their first points of the match. Riding time at 40 seconds. We'll see if that becomes a factor. Minto does a good job returning Mantonona back to the ground. Mantonona in his base. Getting back up to his feet again. Returned by Minto. Mantonona grabs the ankle of Minto. Again, kind of in that high crotch sit-out position. Looking to elevate that ankle that he has. Head is underneath the knee, kind of in that waterfall position now. Mantonona looking to look back into Minto as he gets that crotch lock. And 48 seconds, kind of eating into that riding time. Minute 15 as this continues to be Minto's position. And Minto on his back, no danger swipes yet. And again, that far ankle position. Mantonona elects to come out front. Not sure what he's working for here. He's kind of in that front of that head. But again, I mean, if you're Minto, you're happy. And the ref calls another early stalemate.
It seemed like either side likes it. A lot of boos rain down here in Crisler.
Exactly. Mantonona was working a front half, kind of that three-quarter Nelson's type deal. But again, I mean, that whole scramble ate about 45 seconds of the clock, and now Minto's at 131 with, a good chunk of riding time. We'll see if that'll continue to be a factor in this match. Mantonona back up to his feet. Minto looking for a turn. Not getting much. Crowd wanting a stalling. Mantonona on his feet for a while, and they call the stalling on Minto. He grabs the far leg, and again, Mantonona back up to his feet. Minto gets a nice return, and they're on the edge of the mat. And this is how the period's going to end it. That's a big win for Minto. Did eat a stalling call, but he will go into the third period with a 2 minutes of riding time. A 0-0 match.
Yeah, right. This is the probably the closest we've seen here today, outside of maybe the 141 against Sergio Lemley and Brock Hardy. But this one is scoreless after 2 periods, and Michigan and Mantonona would love to get out of this one with a few points.
Yeah, Minto elects to take top. I'm curious to see how much Mantonona commits to this ride as Minto quickly rolls out of it and gets in on a leg. Kind of an All-American finish position here. Seatbelt, and he gets his reversal. Wow, that's going to be a 2-point reversal. And again, he's going to start building up that riding time. Mantonona in on his base. Minto looking with a wrist, kind of pushing across, maybe looking for a cross-wrist tilt. Minto complaining to the ref that he's looking for his tilt now. Menon was fighting hands there for a second as he tries to tilt him over, doesn't get anything. He's rolling. Mantonona, good job staying strong here against this tilt as Minto gets a left side boot in. And again, looking for that crossbody ride with the left side boot. Gets 2 boots in and working the half. 1 boot falls out as Mantonona gets it on the leg and gets his 2-point reversal.
And we're back to tie, this time at 2 instead of 0.
So the issue is here, Minto has his riding point locked up, so it's actually a 3-2 match to the Nebraska wrestler. So Mantonona elects to cut him. It's going to be a 4-2 match, essentially, with the riding time at 2:22 and 48 seconds left. So we'll see. Mantonona's going to need a takedown as blood time starts.
Right, but he's got a chance here with 48 seconds left. Down 2-4 when you consider the advantage time, but yeah, Mantonona's going to talk to Sean Borman and see his best strategy is here for coming out here and trying to win a few points.
Yep, got a bit of a stinger to the nose and looking to cover that up. James, what can you tell me about the next matchup?
Yeah, that's going to be the 174 weight class. And unless something changes like it did for the 165, we're going to be looking at Joseph Walker of Michigan, the redshirt senior, going against Lenny Pinto, the junior out of Pennsylvania for Nebraska. Should be another competitive matchup. Joseph Walker is ranked 29th in his weight class of 174 for the Wolverines.
The two are back on their feet. Minto in on a firm head position of Mantanona. Gets in on a leg, but Mantanona using his length. As Minto looks to hook the ankle to get his finish, but Mantanona's long here. But at the end of the day, this is even clock. 25 seconds remaining. Mantanona looks to roll him through. Oh, this is going to be close, James. Mantanona in the advantageous position, just trying to get Minto to let go of this leg. 15 seconds left. He's going to have to hook this leg. He's going to have to make something happen. 10 seconds remaining. No points yet. As Minto comes out the back, and that looks like it's going to end the match. Another takedown for Minto. That's going to be a 7-2 win for the redshirt freshman against Bo Mantanona.
Yeah, Mantanona looked like he almost had life there in those last 40 seconds, but then that's another match that goes to Nebraska, and the Cornhuskers extend their lead in this duel after five matches. We said the 174 matchup is coming up next. Lenny Pinto of Nebraska and Joseph Walker of Michigan.
Correct, and these teams are going to take their break here real quick. Quick intermission as we reach the halfway point of this duel.
Right, so that minor decision win for Nebraska extends their lead to 23. Michigan still sitting at 0. Going to need a miracle to, maybe not a miracle yet, but going to need to perform a lot better in the second half here to second half of matches to come away with this dual win. Yeah, we talked about Michigan's season not kind of going the way. Obviously, they're still ranked nationally and not one of the worst teams out there. But they're trying to get back in it with a 3-game homestead. They've got number 7 Nebraska here today, and then back here at Crisler again on Sunday afternoon is number 24 Indiana comes to town, and then a week from tomorrow, Ohio State, the big rival, is here on Saturday, February 1st at 2 p.m. Should be a good rivalry game or match, and should have a lot of crowd showed up for that one.
Correct.
We got 12 minutes here until the next match, 174, starts. We will take a short break and be back with you shortly. Welcome back to the Crisler Center in Ann Arbor. We are in the midst of a duel between Michigan and Nebraska. Nebraska leads 23-0. The 174 matchup is slated to start between Joseph Walker and Lenny Pinto. But before we get into that, let's kind of walk you through how we got here. We've gone through 5 matches so far, starting with the 133 weight class, moving all the way down to up to 165. And Nebraska has been nothing short of dominant so far on the scoreboard, with a 23-0 lead, like I said, kind of just dominating everywhere. But Tej and I were talking before, during the break, about how just a few things here and there have really kind of turned this lopsided. 2 big examples are Sergio Lemley getting tech fall when he could have maybe won that match or even just lost by a few less points. That's a big swing for Michigan. And then the big one is Chase Saldate getting pinned when he had an opportunity to win that match. That's a 9-point swing. And it's just kind of made things get ugly here for the Wolverines in Ann Arbor.
Correct, James. It's well said. It's really hard to win duels when you're not flipping. We were, again, talking in the break about how wrestling's a sport where there's always something to fight for. You might be the underdog. You might be against, the #1 guy in the country as some of these guys are facing, but you could always fight to not get pinned, not get teched, win a decision. So I feel like the story of Michigan's season this year, that we talk about that Maryland loss, a bit of a wake-up call, as they just did not flip the decisions. It felt like almost every match they were doing the worst thing out of what was expected from them. Whether that be, you're going to lose a match, but lose a decision, don't lose a major. Or if you're a guy who's well touted, go get a major, go get bonus points for the team. So it's going to be tough to compete on a dual level when you're doing things like that. So we'll see if we can flip this around again. As we spoke, a pretty young team. You look at this Michigan roster, you've got true sophomore Sergio Lemley, Dylan Gilcher, also second year, Beaumont Mantanona, second year. Brock, his younger brother, is someone who really could be in this lineup, and he's a true freshman. Nolan Wertman, redshirt freshman. And again, that Dylan Ragusin injury really rocked this lineup. You're talking about a leader and a returning All-American. Really had a really close semifinal bout with Dayton Fix. A guy just you really want on your team. Unfortunately, came down with an ACL injury and elected for that red shirt. But still hope in this lineup, and obviously some individual stars who really are looking to get going as the postseason works. And then as far as the Nebraska squad, it's been a good season so far. 6-2 on the year, 1-1 in the Big Ten. Obviously, only Minnesota, which is a good win, and then Penn State, which at this point people are just fighting to get out of. But yeah, a lot of All-American contenders. Caleb Smith, who's coming up. Brock Hardy, Ridge Lovett, Antrell Taylor. Guys who are really looking to make their name. And a guy who I really think will be good at, and we saw in this first bout, really put on a show, is Jacob Van D. I think he's really going to have a standout year. He's on the up and coming as they start the Joseph Walker introductions. Joseph with a younger brother on the team, Czar, the Indiana natives.
Right, Tej, and you talked about this roster having hope and season not going the way it wanted to, and there still being a chance. I think the same thing is true of this duel. Down 23, you still got a lot left to go with Jacob Cardenas yet to wrestle.
Correct, yeah, great point. Talking about some stars, Jacob Cardenas is one of them for sure. Number 2 ranked at the weight class.
And it all starts here with this 174 matchup as Joseph Walker and Lenny Pinto have taken the mat with no action so far, 2:35 left in the first period.
Joseph working from space as Pinto went on a single leg and just does jumps up right to the underhook, gets in a seatbelt position. Really fast transition, didn't really look to finish the single and just went straight to the seatbelt as he is working. He has both legs inside of Joseph Walker, is kind of looking to limp out. As Joseph gets on that Merkle immediately, great takedown from him. Just great awareness, seeing the Merkle and just going right for it. As Lenny tried to limp out, he just lets him limp out and gets that too. And now he's working on top, has a bar in. you know, we were just talking about matches where you want to flip the decision. This is when Joseph Walker can walk in here and take a match against a guy who's, you know, higher ranked. As he's working this bar on the right side, he's got it locked in. We'll see if he can get anything on the other side as Pinto kind of magically just gets up there and works back into the center. A 3-1 start to the match. Only 33 seconds of riding time for Walker.
Yeah, up and down season so far for Pinto. It was ranked as high as 6 at one point in the season, but kind of went on a little bit of a losing streak. Then kind of got back in it, but coming off a loss to number 2 Levi Haynes at PSU.
And he has a nice double leg into a straightforward finish, real quick finish. And I think that's been a theme for this Nebraska team. I'm sure the veteran coach Mike Manning's been talking about that as Pinto picks him up on the edge of the mat and walks him out. They'll start back in the center. Joseph Walker still on bottom. Pinto looks to be the bigger guy here. I haven't seen Walker at this weight, but Pinto looks to be pretty big at this weight as he elects to cut him, making the match 4-4. Pinto working on the head. Bit of a surprising cut there as there's a minute remaining on the period. Let's see if he can get his takedown to make it worth it.
Right, and Walker still leads in time and advantage with 22 seconds. So could come into play here as we're looking at a 4-4 score right now.
Correct. He needs that time to go over a minute to get that point. So, again, could go for both guys as we're only in the first period. 30 seconds remaining as they work in collar ties here. Michigan rocking the military appreciation singlets. Kind of got a blue camo thing going as Pinto gets on a double, but Walker does a great job just standing back up. Gets that underhook. Looking for a high crotch. No avail. Pinto looks reattacking again. Just nothing there. But looks for a nice little duck, but Pinto whips him over. Kind of in a weird position. And he gets his 3. Good takedown from him. Walker had a duck, and Pinto kind of caught him and almost took him to his back as Walker almost with an escape as time runs out. With a nice little sit-out position as Nebraska has choice, and Pinto elects for bottom with a 7-4 lead.
Yeah, that was another thing we talked about. Just Michigan just not getting the bounce, not getting things to go their way. Pinto there takes a cut, loses a point, and right in the last minute, pins Walker and gets 3, makes it worth it.
Yep, exactly. Got that takedown. So, see here as Walker's on top. Pinto in his base. Walker kind of that crossbody spiral ride here. Working 2 thigh pries right now. Pinto had a bit of a sit out last time when Walker was on top. Walker elects to pick his leg up, walks him out of bounds, and looking to get him back down as he's on the legs and he's getting to count 3-4 swipes. Pinto just smartly evading it and gets a stall call out of Walker. Kind of nothing you can do there. Just has to eat that as Walker unless you want to give up the escape. Pinto smart to just work his way back to the center as Walker was on the legs, just kind of holding on to the 2 ankles.
Yeah, Walker still does have more advantage at 52 seconds.
Correct, and wow, a quick reversal from Pinto. Immediate sit down. That's huge, James. You were talking about that advantage time, that riding time. Almost at a minute for Walker, but now Pinto's eating it back down. As they're in a bit of a sit-out position, Walker gets back to his feet and gets out, gets his escape, making the match 5-9. Nebraska with a 23-point lead so far in this duel. Halfway point, 50 seconds remain as these two feel each other out in the center. Walker looking for that outside step high C. Kind of been a new move in wrestling.
And if you're Michigan, you feel like you need this one.
And Pinto matches his outside step, gets in there. Oh my, wow, what a nice finish from Pinto. Great adjustment. Had his outside step, head outside, comes, swivels his head inside, and swivels it right back out and gets a quick finish with the dump and just doubles off. That's textbook from him as Walker gets his escape, making his 6-12 match with 20 seconds remaining. Walker's a slicker guy. Let's see if he can work something. And again, goes for a little, just a poorly timed, poor attempt. Not much effort into that single leg. And Pinto just grabs an underhook and whips him over. And now he's back on top, 6-15. Again in that sit-out position with 4 seconds remaining as Walker looks to get his escape, but does not as time runs out. Just a poor shot from Walker there. Kind of just grasped at an ankle, and Pinto smartly times it up and just grabs his under and whips him over.
Right, absolutely. Let's see what Walker can do in these last 2 minutes. But right now, it is not looking great in his favor. Down 6-15. With 2 minutes left to wrestle here, and just this one is looking like it's going to be Michigan's sixth match loss in this duel.
Correct, as Pinto elects to cut him with the 8-point lead. So currently working in that major decision range. Let's see if he can get more for the team.
Yeah, like you talked about, always have something to wrestle for. Looking to not get majored, looking to not get tech.
Exactly.
See if Walker can minimize this loss here.
Pinto with a right side underhook, working Walker to the edge of the mat. Walker smartly gets his butt back to the center, squares up, and gets out of the tie. As these two wrestlers, Walker now facing the center of the mat as Pinto is on the edge of the mat. Again, just like a half shot. Pinto matches it with some go behind offense, but does not get anything as they get called back up to the center. Last week we saw Walker working a lot of that outside step high C. Let's see if we can get that again. It's a slick takedown as Pinto looks for the right side single. Walker onto his knees, Pinto matching his level. They call a stall point, I believe, on Walker. I'm not quite sure what that call was as Walker gets in on that outside step, as I spoke about, and looks to be finished as Pinto grasps onto the ankle, of Walker, but Walker has the two hips controlled as Pinto now, gets that arm leg, looks to pass the leg, and wow. I mean, and Pinto just gets his takedown. Walker looked like he had Pinto dead to rights with that outside step. Again, such a nice takedown as he gets his escape and escapes from Pinto. Doubles him off the edge of the mat, looking for 2, and he gets it. Wow. Great job, great mat awareness by Walker to keep his toes in bounds, making an 8-point match. A lot of action there. Again, as I was speaking, Walker took an outside step, really nice shot, went straight into the finish. Looked like he had him doubled off. Pinto grasping onto the toes of Walker and then somehow able to pass the leg and ends up on a single leg and gets the takedown. Walker elects to cut him 11-20, 20 seconds remaining as this currently Pinto in on a single, left side single, and finishes it. Again, just another half shot by Walker as they roll out of bounds. I understand he's trying to get points here. Same outcome for the team as of right now, a 12-point league for Nebraska, but a lot of these half shots have been ill-advised. I think Pinto has been able to score on 3 of them. 10 seconds remaining as Pinto elects to cut him. Another half shot. Pinto gets on the legs and finishes yet again with a single backside finish, making it a 11-23 bout. Another major decision for the Nebraska Cornhuskers.
Yeah, Tej, and that's just another we're just kind of beating a dead horse here, saying the same things.
Yep.
This Walker there was down 8 at one point, and really feel like he had a chance to maybe not win, but make that a minor decision. And then, like you said, those ill-advised decisions to just give up a lot of points and end up losing by 12, giving Nebraska another major decision as their lead is going to extend to 27-0.
Yeah, wow, James, as the 184-pound wrestlers take the mat, number 7 ranked Silas Alred out of the Cornhuskers corner, taking on number 18, I believe, Jaden Bullock of Michigan. Had a really close match with Jackson Smith, got lat dropped at the last second. Again, one of those matches, 1-1 match. Bullock looking at the edge and then buzzer beater lat drop with an experienced upper body guy. But we'll see how this match goes as Bullock quickly gets on the leg, but Alred able to pull him up. Bullock in an underhook and gets out of that position.
Yeah, this one should be a little bit one of the more competitive matches we've seen today. Maybe Michigan get on the board for the first time.
Correct. Jaden Bullock out of Virginia, a redshirt senior, NTA qualifier last year and 4th at Big Tens. 2-time Virginia State champ. And one of Michigan's only veteran wrestlers, really, who's been on this team for a while and, was in the lineup last year and, one of the only returners. So should be interesting as the two are hand fighting in the center.
Yeah, Bullock's 5th year on the roster as a redshirt senior out of Chesapeake, Virginia.
Correct.
Qualified for NCAA's last year, finished 4th in the Big Tens, 45-27 as a college athlete. So, like you said, one of the veteran guys on this team. Let's see if he can kind of get the ball rolling for these Wolverines, down 27 at home.
Correct. And the Cornhusker, the junior out of Anderson, Indiana, a two-time Big Ten champ, Big Ten champ 2 years ago, and a NCAA qualifier last year, went 2-2. Looking for an All-American finish, currently ranked within the top 8 at number 6. Having a good year so far. Not quite sure what his decisions have looked like this year, but had a good year as these two continue to hand fight. Bullock on the edge, 1:30 remaining in that first period.
Yeah, he's 9-7 this year, 2-3 in duels. Earned 6 points in his duels, so 2 minor decisions so far. See if he can get something here.
Yep, and they are continuing to hand fight. So we'll see what happens. Not much action yet. Bullock, the lower-ranked wrestler here, as we mentioned, Alred, number 6 in the country. Having a somewhat good year so far. James, what can you tell me about his matchups as he goes for a left side single, gets it up, looking to lift for a finish, getting tough and lifts Bullock up the mat. Bullock draped over, gets the 3-point takedown. Sorry, great takedown from Allred, showing some guts, just lifting the guy up off the mat. Was in on a single, deep single, had that crotch lift and just went straight up and elected to return Bullock right back down. Bullock almost had a seatbelt position garnered up, but gave up 3 instead. 22 seconds remaining in this first period.
Yeah, so you asked about Aldred.
Oh my goodness. Allred takes Bullock to his back in a suck back position. And Bullock looks to be pretty close to a pin as he gets out of it. And evades that. Kind of just a quick suck back as they're in a sit-out position. And that will be how the period ends, with a 6-point lead for the Cornhusker.
Right. So Aldred, he's 11-3 on the season, but he's lost 3 in a row dating back to the January 5th. He's coming off a loss against the number 1 ranked Carter Starosi of Penn State. But yeah, coming off 3 losses, really probably hoping to get this one.
Yep, he's had a tough last. Carter Starosi, obviously a 4-timer, looking for his fifth NCAA championship this year of Penn State. Max McNally, good Minnesota wrestler. He lost in a major 16-6. Jaden Bullock back on the leg on a single, on the edge, and finishes it nicely. Does a great job. Allred looking to evade the mat, and Bullock says no as he elects to cut him, making the match 4-7. Gets back on a double. They're on the edge of the mat. We'll see if he can finish one toe in bounds currently, kind of in that wizard position, angle wizard position. Bullock elects to keep his toe in the mat, eating in the clock, but plenty of time here in this 3-point bout as they finally go out of bounds. But yeah, as James was saying, Max McNally of Minnesota, major decision, lost major to Carter Starosi, and then Parker Keckheisen, number 2 guy, NCAA champ last year. Really tough weight class this year, with Starosi bump it up to 184 from 174 as Allred back into that single position. Let's see if he can elect to lift as he goes for the lift again. They're on their feet, kind of goes suck back and puts Bullock to his back, but he bellies out smartly. 3-point takedown, making the bout 4-10 in Allred's favor with 40 seconds remaining. Only 35 seconds of riding time so far as Bullock is completely bellied out. But yeah, tough schedule. Talking about one of the more competitive weight classes. So definitely fighting for that All-American finish. And, you know, maybe make some things happen. It's going to be tough with Carter Starosi at that weight, Parker Keckheisen, 2 pound-for-pound top wrestlers. But let's see what we can make happen as he's currently has a 6-point lead in this bout. Jaden Bullock, a guy who has been to NCAAs, did not finish as he wanted to last year. But again, maybe someone who's knocking on that door of All-American finishes. The second period winds down. Nebraska has choice. Mike Manning telling his wrestler to do what he wants, and he elects for the bottom position. Bullock looking to cover.
Yeah, still a 10-4 lead here for Aldred. See if Bullock can make something happen here.
Yeah, Bullock a little jumpy on the gun. Kind of covers up a bit too high, and they call caution on him. First caution of the match. Start the whistle. Aldred right up to his feet. Bullock onto the side, and he elects to let him go. 1-0, 1 point escape, 4-11 lead as Aldred looks for the far side knee pick, goes back to the single, again looking for that lift, gets back up in the underhook. Bullock able to break the lock on his leg, but Aldred on the underhook on the edge of the mat. Let's see what he can do here. It's kind of been a theme for these, and he goes throw by and takes him right to his back. Just overpowers Bullock and just had that underhook and throws it by and takes him right over. I wonder if Bullock was trying to roll through, but gets a point, or gets a takedown, sorry. 4-14 in this bout, 10-point lead, major decision again. And James, as we were talking about, the Wolverines are yet to lose a decision. You know, everyone's been majored or more, so it's just really not been a great duel. Who do we have next for this next match, James?
Yeah, well, you're talking about Michigan not being able to win anything. They'd hope to win the next one with Jacob Cardenas coming out, the number 2 graduate transfer from Cornell. One of the top guys in collegiate wrestling this year. He's yet to wrestle number 1 Stephen Buchanan of Iowa. So 2 guys in the Big Ten, number 1 and 2 in that 197 weight class. He's a 2-time All-American. Yeah, and he's 71-22 in his career at Cornell, and he was a 2-time U23 freestyle with second and third finishes. So if Michigan has a ringer, it is this guy. So yeah, that'll hopefully be Michigan's first points of the evening, as it looks like they're Jaden Bullock's gonna fall in this one, 17-6 right now.
Pinto with another takedown and a quick cut, making it an 11-point lead, 6-17, as they head back to the center restart. But yeah, should be a good match for Michigan coming up. So it's back on that single. Bullock gets out, times up a double, but Aura does a good job just bringing it back up into that underhook, left side underhook. Takes out the underhook in a nice shot. Left side single. Again, kind of this sit-out position, and the match will end a major decision with the riding time point 20-6, a point away from the technical fall. A big decision for the Cornhusker as Bullock walks off the mat, not happy, clearly. As we head into the third to final bout of the evening, the Cornhuskers with a commanding 31-0 lead.
Yeah, not great for the Michigan Wolverines. I don't know if they'll be able to come back in this one, but it should be fun for the fans to watch Cardenas wrestle here. 11-0 on the season, and he's matched up against a freshman, Camden McDaniel, who is 12-7 on the season, I believe.
Yeah, McDaniel having a big summer, a U20 Pan American champion for the last 2 years, U.S. Open champion, U.S. Freestyle champion, so doing good on the world level stage. Obviously, this is folk style, a true freshman out of Ohio. So we'll see what he can do today.
It's another guy coming off a three-loss skid because of the Nebraska's tough schedule. Obviously going to Penn State earlier this week. But yeah, no, looking to bounce back after a loss to number 4, Josh Barr. As the crowd should be pretty excited here for Cardenas to come out and wrestle as they get loud.
Yep, we'll finish this 3 last matches with 197, 285, and 125 as to round it off. At 125, we have Caleb Smith of Nebraska a guy who's really in NCAA contention. 125, Matt Ramos, the currently #1 ranked wrestler out of Purdue. But the Illinois native is not a front runner by any means. You know, Caleb Smith is definitely in the talks for a podium finish. As we continue this duel, Michigan fans getting a little loud.
Yeah, trying to stay in it, down 32-0 now, I guess, according to the Jumbotron. She's had some issues today, but yeah, Cardenas should come out here soon for Michigan and hopefully give these fans something to cheer about. The #2 wrestler in his weight class.
Yeah, and as you talked about, Stephen Buchanan, another transfer to Iowa from, I believe, NDSU, I believe, and looking for, you know, two haven't met. I mean, Cardenas has not been able to have a better year with the matchups he's had, so really interested to see how this weight class finishes out. Just won a major decision against Isaiah Salazar of Minnesota.
#8 in that weight class. He has 5 ranked wins on this season. Hoping another notch, another W in the book today. Maybe give Michigan some points.
Yep, he leads. He's #8 for Tech Falls this year. Josh Heinzelman, another Michigan wrestler on this list. I believe no Nebraska wrestlers on this list. But if you talk depth of lineup, Nebraska's up there, man. 0 non-ranked wrestlers. You know, some young studs, some veteran guys. As this match begins, Cardenas in center. Looks for a little left slow single, but to no avail. As they work in the collar ties here.
You gotta think McDaniel here is looking for a big win, probably the biggest win of his young career.
Correct. And you're talking about last year. Brings me back. Michigan was wrestling Iowa on Military Appreciation Night in these singlets, and talking about big upset wins, very similar to this. Sergio Lemley took out Real Woods, #1 ranked out of Iowa last year in a major decision. Honestly, pretty close to a pin. So we'll see what the young Ohio native can do. As Cardenas working his level changes. Likes to work from space for a big guy, at least. Working heavy on that head. McDaniel meets him with another level change, and Cardenas, a well-timed low double, comes up, finishes smoothly. Kind of cuts back on that far side on that double, and just easy finish as he comes out in a spiral. Not looking to commit to the ride. They're on the edge, and big return, booming return. You could hear it through the stadium as he takes him on the edge of the mat, and they are out of bounds, looking for a restart on the edge.
Yeah, big first 3 there for Cardenas. Looks to be in control right now. Went a little bit back and forth there with McDaniel, but so far 90 seconds in, looks like Cardenas is in control. But that being said, it's only 3-0.
Yeah, you talk about a big theme in the Michigan lineup. These graduate transfers, last year they had a lot of them. There are two finalists last year, Austin Gomez, the heavyweight, both transfers. You know, and this year we have Chase Aldate on this team, Jacob Cardenas, and soon to wrestle Josh Heinzelman.
Ready to start again after a pause.
Yep, Cardenas back on top. McDaniel does a good job to get back up to his feet, and Cardenas elects to let him go. 1 point escape, making it 3-1. 37 seconds of riding time, a minute remaining in this first period at 197 pounds. Cardenas looking, you know, a little far side ankle pick to no avail. Does not reach it, and doing a good job. McDaniel with a little bit of a hard club. Cardenas works his way back to center.
Down to 45 seconds left here in this first period. 3-1, Cardenas lead.
as they continue to hand fight. Cardenas with another low ankle pick attempt. Meets him with a level change. I think he likes, matching people's levels and trying to lower his level to get a shot off. Kind of that stutter fake with that level change, and then stay down there and blast a double off. That's how he got his first takedown. So we'll see if he can go again as time continues to run out in this first period. And I think we will end in a 3-1 bout to the Wolverine.
Yes, you are correct. As the horn blares, and Cardenas is a 3-1 lead over the true freshman McDaniel. Yeah, second period coming up here. Cardenas looks solid. Doesn't look too daunted yet. So I don't know if he's worried about upset territory yet, but we'll see. With 4 minutes of wrestling left to happen here, second period about to start.
Yeah, no real attacks out of McDaniel yet, as he is on top of Cardenas. Cardenas gets to his feet quickly and gets his escape. A minute 50 left. And big theme for Cardenas. Obviously great on his feet, but even better on top. Really likes to tote people up. Really enjoys working that cross wrist series. Kind of a staple, as he looks a double, met with some good head-hands defense out of the Cornhusker, and meets another double again. Same thing. McDaniel doing a good job working him up, taking him off his hips and working his arms up, whether that's in double unders, some overs, but they continue to hand fight. Coach Manning animated in the corner, looking for his young stud to have some success in this match, as Cardenas again continues to take that slow and controlled approach. Kind of likes to strike at his times, chooses his moments to sprint.
Yeah, absolutely would be a huge win for McDaniel. Let's see.
Yeah, so far Cardenas looking in control, but not too many points to show for it. Again, just, McDaniel doing a good job meeting him with his head-hands defenses. Looks for a little outside step on the right side. Cardenas in the front head position. He's got an underhook on the right side, left side elbow control as they look to stalemate this position. Ref calls it up. They'll start back in the center. McDaniel races back into there. Cardenas out of New Jersey. I believe a Bergen Catholic wrestler. One of those storied programs.
Yeah, absolutely. This period's going to wind down. The score is going to stay 4-1 going into period 3 of this 197 match between the number 2 wrestler in the nation, Jacob Cardenas, and the true freshman, McDaniel.
McDaniel takes the down bottom position. Cardenas covers on top. Waits for the announcement to cover. Cardenas does this tricky thing where he lines up right side before he covers, and then covers the left side for a moment and goes back to the right, kind of playing some mind games. That's what you got to do to be the number 2 ranked wrestler in the country. So they quickly, McDaniel up to his feet, takes him out of bounds, and they restart back in the center. Let's see what fake outs he does here as McDaniel starts in the bottom position. Cardenas goes left side, hits on the right side, and goes back to the left. It's tricky. He's a grad student for a reason, as he beats another big return, takes him to the mat. And now he's looking for his cross wrist, and this is where he's dangerous. If he can get this wrist up, but McDaniel does a good job getting back to his feet, gets out of bounds, and Manning's looking for a little bit of a stall call, kind of the go-to in college wrestling. If you stand up out of bounds, it's usually going to look for something there. They want some action on the edge. They don't want walking out of bounds. So Cardenas covers again and gets a caution, jumps the gun a little bit, looking for a spiral ride there. Kind of sinks in that half, looking for that far thigh pry, but covers again. And McDaniel again up to his feet, big lift for Cardenas. But McDaniel just continuously going up, doing a good job bringing his knees back up as he rolls out of bounds with a minute 30 remaining, a minute of riding time. So if this match ended right now, 5-1 decision for Jacob Cardenas. Obviously, the dual score no longer within reach for the Wolverines. But we will see as Cardenas takes top again with a minute 30 remaining. And McDaniel up again. Let's see if he commits to the rider as they work towards the edge. Cardenas with no return, and they're going to call him for stalling there. Again, as I was saying, you walk him out of bounds 3 times. Unfortunately, you're going to get called whether there's an attempt or not. Coach Bourmet obviously not happy, but it's kind of how it goes. So Cardenas again about to cover, playing the mind games, and gets up again and elects to let him go this time. Doesn't want to eat up another stall call as the match is 4-2 now. Cardenas with a minute 22 of riding time. McDaniel working hard, pushing the hand fight, but Cardenas still in his cool, calm, collective state, matching with level changes. Both gentlemen working collar ties here. Cardenas with that level change again onto his knees. Wrestles low for a 197-pounder. Very fast and kind of just chooses moments to sprint. Again, as I was speaking, as he tries to shuck by a collar tie to no avail. McDaniel hand fighting hard. 30 seconds remaining here. Cardenas into that double, and again, it's that stutter step, but McDaniel again just brings him back up. And looks for an outside step, and we're going to see a sprint out of the kid here. 20 seconds remaining. We'll see what he has. Looking for some fakes, some shots. He's sprinting at him. 10 seconds. Cardenas backing up. Looking for some shots. I'd be surprised they don't call a stall call. Cardenas gets in the front head position as this match looks to end. McDaniel with a sit-out try. No peek out. And Cardenas will get the 4-2, 5-2 with riding time decision win. But an impressive match from the young freshman from the Cornhuskers corner. 5-2 decision against the number 2 ranked wrestler as both wrestlers shake the opposing coach's hands.
Yeah, I doubt Camden McDaniel's really unhappy with that, going toe-to-toe with the number 2 wrestler in the nation there.
Yeah, really, I mean, put on a sprint at the end and had a Cardenas backing up. So, again, never want to lose, but it's a tough match to win. So I'm sure there's some good and negative lessons to take out of there as we walk into this heavyweight bout. The number 21 ranked Harley Andrews out of the Cornhuskers first. The transfer, Josh Heinzelman, with his goofy walk-up video. Out of the University of Oklahoma, a 4-time NCAA qualifier, got to the round of 12 last year, looking to break into that All-American finish. 82-46 at Oklahoma. Oklahoma native, Piedmont, 2-time state champ.
And 2 wrestlers shake hands and get at it.
Correct. Heinzelman loves his right side underhook as he gets it quickly into that front head position. Kind of with that wrist and that right side underhook. Heinzelman's most recent bout against Gable Steveson, the returning Minnesota legend, as he comes back for his, I believe, last year of eligibility. Chose to go to the NFL, the WWE, and then come back to college wrestling, because why not? Won the Olympics. Tough match, got pinned in that Minnesota duel. Looking to bounce back here as the 2 hand fight, and nice little single leg from Heinzelman. Great job. Standing signal, just snatch single right there. Great setup, far side trip on that leg to get his takedown on the edge as he covers with 3-0 lead in 2 minutes remaining.
Something to note about Andrews here on the Cornhusker side. His last 2 matchups have been against the number 1 and number 2 wrestlers in the country at the heavyweight weight class.
Correct. And as we were both alluding to, this heavyweight weight class, one that was, originally dominated by one guy, and then another guy came in, Gable Steveson, Olympic champ, two-time NCAA champ, Hodge Trophy winner, you name it, NFL practice squad player, because why not? He just decided to come back and shake things up, and Greg Clerkleviet, last year's NCAA champ at heavyweight, beat the Michigan guy. Michigan with a history of good heavyweights. Mason Paris, Adam Kuhn representing the world team as Heinzelman back in on a snatch single, left side single, and again with that far side trip, reaches the ankles and gets his three-point takedown. That's going to make it a 6-1 lead for the senior. Yeah, as we were talking, I mean, it's a crazy thing. Gable Stevenson's move really shook up the wrestling world. Exciting for any wrestling fan out there. A guy we didn't know would come back to the sport, and now really, who knows? Maybe he competes at the senior level after getting that one Olympic medal. But yeah, both these wrestlers have faced their fair share of tough opponents. As Heinzelman is still on top, and Andrews, control and wrist, gets out, making a 6-2 match with 50 seconds remaining in this first period at heavyweight. We have one more bout remaining. Who will that be between, James?
Right, that'll be the going from the heavyweight class to the lightest weight class at the 125. That'll be Willifred Tenefu for Michigan is going to be wrestling against Caleb Smith of Nebraska.
Correct. Tenefu, one of the unranked wrestlers on the Michigan team, and Smith, currently ranked number 5. And again, another snatch single for Heinzelman. Goes for a dump. Andrews does a good job getting his hips up. We're on the mat now. Heinzelman, again, in that high crouch sit-out position, head outside, looking to shelf that leg that he has onto his hip. As they kind of sit here, 5 seconds remaining, they're going to let this one play out, and I believe it will end a 6-2 bout.
Yeah, and about that next match, the Willifred Tenefu at 125 is another result of the ACL injury. Normally it's Nolan Wertinen at that 125 spot, but things got shuffled around, obviously.
Correct, 100% correct. With Ragason's injury, they elected to bump Wertinen up, who was supposed to be the 25-pounder for the team, and Tenefu took the 25-pound spot, having a not-so-bad season as Andrews gets in on a shot. Heinzelman with the body wizard, as Andrews pretty close to this finish, tries to cut back across and gets the finish. That'll make it a 7-5 bout, and now we've got a match on our hands. Andrews with just a nice shot in there and a relatively quick finish. Heinzelman trying to go for a body lock as Heinzelman's completely bellied out here. Andrews attacking wrist underneath the arms currently as Heinzelman gets back to his base. Andrews again working, again, Nebraska seems to be working that as he puts in a boot. And again, that far side boot ride here. Heinzelman looking to, Andrews looking to whip Heinzelman over with that boot. Comes in kind of with a cross face.
Yeah, Heinzelman cannot do much right now. He's kind of been stuck in that belly down position, like you said.
Correct. And he finally gets back to his knees, but is going to struggle with that. He's got a leg, kind of more of an ankle ride here for Andrews as they call it a stalemate. Bring it back to the center of the mat. Coach Manning telling his wrestler to focus on that ankle. Really work that ride. I think that's something they've been practicing in the Nebraska room. I've seen that out of a lot of wrestlers today. As Andrews lines up on the right side. Heinzelman working up. And Andrews gets a shallow boot in on the left side. Coach Bourmet, they throw the brick out. I'm not quite sure what that's for. Obviously, each team getting one challenge during the match. And I'll be honest, I have no clue what the brick is for here. I wonder if it's a locked hands call they're looking for. I saw Coach Jackson and Coach Bourmet getting straight up, looking agitated. So obviously saw something as they're going to take this down to the booth.
Yeah, we'll let you know what the call is as soon as they tell the crowd here.
Correct, and it is locked hands that they're reviewing. Andrews had a shallow boot in, and I was not paying attention to the hands. I'm sure there was something to be said as both heavyweights talk to their coaches, grab a sip of water while they can, and the booth looks at it.
Currently a 7-5 advantage to Heinzelman.
Correct, and the team score currently at 3-32. A dominant victory. You're talking about a competitive Big Ten. You know, new news in the wrestling world. We will have national duels this year. Oklahoma electing to host them. 16 dual team bracket. Not quite sure what teams will be involved, but $200,000 cash prize to whoever. Shouldn't say cash. $200,000 prize to whoever wins that match. So a lot of money at stake, and usually our team winner is elected by the NCAA tournament. But this year they have that, which will be a fun unofficial way to compete in these duels. I think something a lot of wrestling fans are looking forward to, James.
Right, absolutely. I think there's always something to be said for giving the student athletes another chance to compete, and giving fans another thing to watch. I think it's good for the sport, it's good for competition, and some incentive for the schools and for the teams to compete with that $200,000 prize you were talking about.
100%. And with the scholarship changing, a lot of NIL, there's a lot of monies are changing. Talking about David Taylor going to Oklahoma State, a big signing at head coach, and something that money has a big involvement with. So definitely gives these teams an incentive to take on this extra tournament, and I think it's something most wrestling fans are going to be looking forward to. So we'll see if either of these teams will be in that. But again, we're working in this Big Ten dual season. Big Ten continues to relatively dominate the wrestling scene. Obviously, Penn State, Iowa, Ohio State, Nebraska, Minnesota, a team that's up and coming and having a really good year so far. And Michigan, a bit of a down year compared to years past, but still in that top 25 ranking. As we continue to wait for the call here.
Yeah, absolutely. Heinzelman is at the middle of the mat, getting ready to go. But unsure exactly what we're waiting for here as the officials are discussing, talking to both head coaches.
Yeah, we'll see what happens here. Heinzelman was in the bottom position for a while, but is now getting up. I'm not sure what maybe it's the clock they're trying to switch back. Not 100% sure. But yeah, James, one more match to go in this bout. I think a disappointing day for the Wolverines. A lot of things to come back and work on. And for the Cornhuskers, they continue to have a good dual season. Going to improve to 2-1 on this Big Ten year. As we reach the peak of Big Ten dual wrestling. NCAA is coming up, Big Ten, so a lot of these teams are focusing up as Heinzelman restarts. Looking for his escape, working really hard, and finally gets it. Comes right back into over-under position. Both these on the edge. Heinzelman butt to the center. As he, I believe, has a right side underhook. Left side wrist control. Snaps him down. Likes to work out of that go-behind position, but gets out of it. Andrews, as this looks like it'll be the end of the second period. Heinzelman up 9-5, as I do believe he got that locked hands call.
Yeah, I believe you're right. And Heinzelman looks a little bit quicker coming out of that break than he did previous. I think that 3 or so minute intermission we had there with the water break kind of helped him out a little bit.
Correct. Looked like he was sprinting out of bottom and got his late escape. So that's a big point. Up 4 as he takes the top position. Andrews electing bottom. Heinzelman working out of a spiral ride here. Andrews up to his feet. See if Heinzelman tries to return. Gets in on the leg in a high crouch position, head outside single. Looking to finish this here as they work towards the edge of the match. And Heinzelman's going to work him out of bounds, and that's not a smart decision from the veteran guy. Gets called for a stalling there as he walks him out of bounds in on that leg in the top control position.
Yeah, we saw Cardenas struggle with that as well. Finally electing just let the guys go and give him escape rather than get another stalling call.
Correct, James. Yep.
We'll see if Heinzelman does the same thing. But yeah, no, not in a close bout like this. Not smart to be getting stalling calls like that.
Correct. Especially as the time goes on. I mean, Andrews is a escape away from making it a 3-point bout, which will therefore then make it a one takedown battle. And who knows, stalling could get into play. The coaches look to be having a word with the officials. I'm not quite sure what about.
Yeah, another break. This is our longest bout of the match of the day so far.
Yep, and a relatively smooth duel so far. Not a lot of blood time or anything. As the wrestlers take center again. Still some more conversation at the head table.
Yeah, still not sure what they're discussing, but they've been discussing it for a while.
Correct.
Sean Bormett looks satisfied, I guess.
Yeah, I'm sure not too happy with today's outcome. As the wrestlers take center, Andrews on bottom, Heinzelman covers, start the whistle. Andrews up to a quad pod, rolls out. Heinzelman gets back behind. No points, and finally Andrews gets his escape with 1:30 remaining, making it a one takedown bout. So let's see if the Cornhusker will give a little sprint here as we go towards the end of the period. The third period, only 30 seconds of riding time in Andrews' favor, so not a factor currently, as Heinzelman has a right side underhook and a left side collar tie. Likes to work out of this position, likes to work his snap out of here, and even go to the snatch single.
Yeah, Heinzelman still up 3 with less than a minute to go here. Let's see if he can hold on.
Again on that right side underhook, pulling on that head with his left arm, kind of snapping him in that snap down position. He's working towards the edge, gets back to that collar tie on the left side with the right side underhook. We'll see as there's 30 seconds remaining here. Heinzelman controlling center here. As the Michigan fans are looking for a stall call, not going to get it as Andrews tries a shot, works out of bounds, and we will hear a reset here with 26 seconds remaining.
Yeah, Heinzelman, number 9 in the country, probably expected to win this one.
Correct. I think Andrews ranked number 22, rounding out this really good lineup for the Cornhuskers. As Andrews looking to pressure in, Heinzelman on the edge of the mat, gets his underhook again with 10 seconds remaining. I think he's going to want to sit in this position here. He's got that underhook. Andrews reaches for a leg to no avail. Heinzelman's going to get pushed out of bounds, and I think that's how the match is going to end.
Yeah, the officials look like they want us to let that one go rather than reset it.
Exactly. 9-6 decision for Josh Heinzelman. And now we will enter our last bout of the night, a 32-6 lead for the Cornhuskers. As this one currently stands. And this should be an exciting one. We've got an exciting Caleb Smith wrestling Willifred Tanifew. Smith, a North Carolina native, 3-time NCAA qualifier, and an All-American last year in the hectic 125 weight class, taking 6th place.
Yeah, and he's another one of those graduate students, this time not wrestling for Michigan, but another graduate student, which we see so often here, transferring to the Big Ten. It's like Tanifew 0-4 on the season, wrestling at 125. Certainly the underdog here. Caleb Smith should win this one, but let's see if Michigan and Tanifew can flip the script here in this final match of the evening.
Correct, and his twin brother, Christian, actually on the team at the same weight class. I believe he's been the one representing them in the duels, if I'm not mistaken, up until this point. As they have a standing ovation for all military members in the crowd. A couple kids not taking the hint and taking the round of applause for themselves, but a lot of military members in the arena tonight. We all thank them for their service.
Absolutely. As we move into a Michigan sing-along before this final match of the night. I learned this song in second grade music class. I got really confused with the Star Spangled Banner.
Very patriotic.
And I'm sure Caleb Smith is loving this.
A lot of time waiting in the center. As a former wrestler, I can say, and he's probably used to it at this point, but you know, walking around, pacing back and forth, it's a nerve-wracking place. But he is staring down the tunnel where Willifred Tanefew is about to enter, staring it down as they begin the introductions for Tanefew.
Yeah, big psychological aspect of the sport, which I think is kind of something kind of gets overlooked compared to other things. Obviously, in like basketball and football, you have that personal, like one-on-one connections, but in wrestling, I think it's the most personal collegiate sport out there. So really big psychological aspect, and not seeing a ton of it today. Outside of, I forget who it was, but they stomped out the M after the pin.
Yeah, that was a Antro Taylor stomping on the M. A little rivalry there, but yeah, you're right. I mean, it's a one-on-one sport. It's will versus will. It's a question of who wants it more, and yeah, it doesn't get more personal than that as the wrestlers shake hands. Both of these guys quick on their feet. A big change from the heavyweight match. A big jump from the snatch singles to the ducks, the low singles, those kind of moves as both wrestlers kind of feeling each other out. Tanefew working heavy on that head as they're going to call him for hands to the face here. Just restart it. Give, I believe, Tanefew a warning as both try to hit a low single at the whistle. Met each other down there, and Tanefew with the right side collar and a wrist control on the left side.
Yeah. Hard to notice as you ascend in weights how much slower it gets, but the comparison between the heavyweight and here at 125, much quicker.
For sure, and everyone has their pick of which one's more exciting, but as a small guy myself, I love seeing the little guys go out there. As Caleb Smith looks for a far side duck on that left side to nothing, and Tanefew doing a good job controlling center here. Smith with another right side single, heavy on the collar tie as they continue to hand fight. Tanefew tries to time up a double. Smith gets a right side underhook after that attempt. Tanefew had a wrist, and a beautiful pick by Caleb Smith to get the takedown as he elects to cut Tanefew. Just a really nice, I think he had an underhook and just nice pick on that ankle, getting the takedown as they wrestle on their feet. 1:30 remaining. Tanefew with another shot, met with some go-behind offense from Caleb Smith. Tanefew comes up with an underhook as they're on the edge of the mat. Both wrestlers continue to hand fight hard. Tanefew clears that elbow control. Both working on that wrist. Caleb Smith level changes out of it and looking for some fakes. Tanefew times up a nice shot, gets to the knee, but not able to grab the leg with both hands. Caleb Smith able to sprawl his leg back. They work center. Caleb Smith with a nice double and just blast right through him. Takes him down. Timed it up really well. Tanefew was pretty upright there and gets his three-point takedown. Yeah, James, as you know, the wrestling, they changed it from a 3 to 2 point takedown, or sorry, from a 2 to 3 point takedown, which is a big change. Very used to saying 2 here, so I've been making that mistake as Caleb Smith returns Tanefew and tries to suck him back in a sit-out position as they reach the edges of the mat. And they're going to reset in the center. Tanefew almost out there.
6-1 advantage here for Smith. 16 seconds left to go in the first period.
And as we were talking, we talked about this in the break, but that 3-point takedown really makes a difference in being able to open up matches. It used to be a 2-point takedown, which means take him down, cut him, that's only 1 point. Now, take him down, cut him, that's 2 points. It really opens up matches, allows guys to go for bonus point victories. As you can see here, this would usually be a 4-1 match, but now it's 6-1 as Tanefew gets his escape, 6-2, 3 seconds remaining. Caleb Smith on another shot and gets the takedown as time expires. making the lead 9-2 as we enter the second period. Tannefew gets a takedown with gets an escape with 4 seconds remaining as Caleb Smith times up a double on the edge and smartly finishes in bounds to get the 9-2 victory as he elects to go on bottom. Tannefew will cover on the right side.
Yeah, really good work there by Smith to just steal those extra points right at the end.
Exactly. It's, again, just another swing that Michigan, really continues to make those mistakes. As Smith looking for a reversal and has to hook that leg and gets it. So he'll get his 2-point reversal, 11-2. And we'll see what he elects to do here. If he's got a Turk, a bit of a weak Turk in. We'll see if he can use it. As Tannefew's bellied out completely, and it looks like Smith's gonna cut him. Gets on the front head, looking for like a cow. Wow, whips him over. And Tannefew on his back, getting swipes.
Close to a pin here.
It's no swipes yet. A really weird position. Tannefew just kind of using all his momentum to not get on his back as he finally gets whipped over, and they call it a pin. And that's how we're gonna end the night, folks. Caleb Smith with a demanding victory, a pin over Tannefew, as the 5th-ranked wrestler ends out the night 38-6 Cornhuskers.
Yeah, nothing really went right for the Wolverines tonight. From the first match on, starting at that small weight class, would have been good starting at 125, obviously as well, starting with that pin. But yeah, final score of 38-6. Nothing really going good for the Wolverines, but their season's not over. Obviously, still not great today, but still one of the top teams in the country, ranked 18 today. We'll see where they fall later, but they're going to be back at it here in Crisler Center against Indiana on Sunday at 2. That's the second of their 3-game homestead. They have the Buckeyes coming to town on the 1st of February. They should be favored in both those matchups, and we'll just see what happens, see if they can kind of get their season back on track. Right, Tej?
Yep, we're hoping they get a bounce back. These Cornhuskers continue on an upward trend, which is exciting for them as well as we, again, in the peak of the Big Ten dual season. Lots of wrestling to be had, and we'll see. I think both these lineups pretty solidified. No more red shirts being pulled. Obviously, we had the Minto at 165 over Bubba Wilson, so we'll see how that plays out come NCAs. But again, 2 exciting teams. Really excited to see how these Cornhuskers figure out this Big Ten dual season.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're in the middle of Big Ten dual season. It's exciting stuff for the world of wrestling. WCBN should have coverage in the future. So good night and go blue.